Kathleen, I see that Rona is in the room, and I'm going to let you formally introduce this woman. Then I'm going to take over and tell some people some things they may not know about her. Hello, girl.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello, Rona. How are you?
Oh,
Uh,
fantastic. This has been so cool listening to all these amazing women in here. I'm just getting so pumped just hearing some of like going from AI, which is such a hot topic in my world, and emotional frequency. Oh my God. I mean that totally relates to when I'm in my world of music. So I love it. I'm just feeding off of all you guys right now. It's cool.
oh, thank you. Thanks for being here because you know what? You just show up so beautifully, and we're so happy you're here. And for anybody that doesn't know Rona, she's a Canadian songwriter, a composer, musician for film, TV, advertising, and a complete veteran in the entertainment industry. Her career, oh my gosh, spans over 25 years from the early days of songwriter and artist to working with record labels, MCA, BMG, to the principal of Goodman Media Incorporated. What a journey. What a journey. And she also, the Rona Goodman publicity, that is so good. She's fearlessly creative, ambitious, and a badass dream chaser. Yes, ma'am. Who doesn't want to be that? That is so good. As a songwriter, she spent time, many years in Nashville and has written hit songs, had her songs recorded by indie dance, pop, and country artists. Oh my gosh, that is so good. And she even got a call from the Grammy Award winning artist to record one of her songs. What an honor. Rona rocks. We can see that already. And she's a guitar player, songwriter, composer. Oh my gosh, look at you. And she's just like Buddha. She's in all kind of different mainstream pop, rock, electronics, chill, acoustics. That is just so good. We're going to hear so much more about her. She's currently focused in the world of sync licensing. I'm not exactly sure what that means, but maybe you'll tell us. And production music. She's collaborated really with people all over the music industry. That's amazing. Amazing, amazing. You're amazing. Thank you so much for
Wow.
being here. Come on up here and tell us some
Thank
more
you.
about yourself, girl.
I'm like, who is this person? I want to meet her.
Yeah, right.
Who are you?
I know what you want to do. You want to have a Grey Goose vodka slightly dirty martini with her. That's what you want to do. And in case you didn't know, that is her favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Love
That is my
that.
favorite. Yeah. If, absolutely anytime we can do a Zoom anywhere in the world. It doesn't have to be here in Vancouver.
I know, lucky us. She's in our city.
I know, yes. Same city as Deb and Dorothea and lots of people. Thank you so much for inviting me to be on this prestigious panel, especially today. I noticed it's like Women Music Day or something. So many cool artists in here. Some I know, Sherry I do know of, but I don't know of Butta. I did catch a little bit of her. She's amazing. And Deb, what you're doing is fantastic. We've had a chance to meet. So thank you all. So yeah, I think in a nutshell, my life just summed up very quickly. And I have a real 360 perspective of the music industry, starting from the early days, back when there was a music industry, because right now there really kind of isn't. It's transforming into something new, but from us old school days back when there were record companies and the parties and everything you do hear about. Yes, all that happened and it was fun. And, we'd meet one-on-one and it was all very much interaction and working together as opposed to now. But we all move with the tides. And that's kind of like what my world is. Kind of started off very young playing guitar when women were not really predominantly playing electric guitar, maybe more folk music back then, or folk or acoustic, let's just say. And I was playing lead and rhythm guitar and just rocking out with all the guys. And they didn't like it. They were like, who is this chick? And but I just sort of forged my way through, and then played in bands and toured, and of course, like every young kid, I had a big dream, and packed my cassette tapes. Okay, I'm really dating myself now, and my guitar, and I'm like going to LA to be a star, and that was it. My poor mother, I don't know how she was able to deal with that. Because if I was now, I'm older looking back, I think no way would I ever let my kid do what I did. But she's amazing. She was amazing. God bless you, Mom. And so yeah, on my way to LA to be a star, and ended up in Vancouver, and never left. I ended up getting in bands and touring and recording out here. And then I kind of pivoted my way into PR. I was always doing PR and music, even my own bands, and got into doing started working for record labels as was you mentioned earlier, MCA, BMG, and really learned a lot about lots of different music, and that led me on my way to also starting my own PR company. It was Goodman Media Inc. Now it's Rona Goodman Publicity. I got to work with the biggest artists in the world through festivals that I started and ran. Marymount Music Festival. If you guys are in British Columbia, you may have heard of that one. I was one of the founders of that one with an amazing team. And I started to just work with artists, and then kind of, always pivoting and meeting other people that would sort of open doors for me. And it's always a really great lesson along the way to just say yes, and not be afraid. And I did that, and I would take on all sorts of different PR projects that were bigger than me. But I say yes, and then I freak out after. I still do that now to these days. I say yes to all sorts of projects, and then go, oh my God, what did I do? But I but I get through it, and I do it, and it ends up being amazing, and it just takes me to the next level. And of course, playing music along the way, PR, marketing, working with artists, and then COVID hit, and like all of us, and as Buddha mentioned, and I did catch a little earlier, pivot. We all had to learn to pivot, and I had to learn to pivot too, because all my contracts as a publicist just went out the door. Like literally everything just stopped. So I'm like, okay, now what am I going to do? And so I just went back to what I love most, and that's songwriting. And I've been doing that since I was a little girl, and have continued along my journey. Of course, living in Nashville, I was still living in Canada and working in Canada. Spending some time in Nashville, going back and forth. Crazy times. I could write a book, actually, as I'm talking out loud. That maybe I should talk to you guys about how to do that. That's my next thing. But and so I pivoted into the world of sync licensing, and sync licensing is kind of the new way now to monetize music, because bands and artists we're not selling CDs, and touring, everything just shut down. So sync licensing basically is writing music to picture and syncing. And that's kind of what I've gone into in the last 4 years. I've studied with some great mentors who opened doors for me. And now I'm composing music for reality television, and also film and television and regular TV projects and ads. Also writing songs as well. They're two separate things, actually. And so I'm kind of working in both arenas, and just loving that. And we talked about emotional frequency. I'll tell you, when I'm writing, I think it's at 100. I don't know if I can go that high, because I'm in my own zone, and any of us creatives out there know when we're on the right path and we're focused, like time doesn't exist. It just flies by, and so I love that emotional frequency. I'm going to use that in something, maybe a song. That might even be a cool idea. for writing. But yeah, so that's kind of my quick journey of the last 25 plus something years. And now now I'm at a point where I love to give back, and I love mentoring and sort of talking to some of the younger generation who are now coming in, and being able to sort of share my experience, and I learn from them too. Trust me, because it's a whole other world right now. You know, I'm always open to working and learning from the younger kids on, you know, what's the cool thing? What are you working on? You know, AI. I mean, that's the hottest topic right now, and the scariest topic in our world of music and entertainment. And anyone listening out there, I'm sure we all have concerns about that, and where it's going and how it can help us and how it cannot help us, you know. So yeah, so that's kind of my quick little story.
No, that's amazing. I have to highlight, because you kind of, thank you first of all for sharing. Thanks, thanks. I mean, look at stay to true, right? I mean, when you're talking about, people 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 25 years, I mean, even if everything went right, it would be an incredible journey, because alongside these incredible careers that are expansive, we have life. We have things that happen. We have things that happen to people that we know and what have you. So there's something that's very diligent about staying on the path. And you kind of briefed over the Merit Music Festival, which I didn't even know about you. You and Butta have to get together. I mean, definitely, I was like, I don't know how much you heard of her story, but you guys got to get together. Absolutely, I'm going to do that. But the Merit Music Festival that you organized, that is not, just to let you know, if you don't live in Canada or you didn't fly here to that is not a small feat. Dee dropped off some books because she did lots of photography there. Talk about who was at the Merit Music Festival.
Oh, my God.
It's a festival where people camp for days to be there. I mean, how many people go to that festival?
At the highest point, we had 150,000 over that week. And I was part of that for 15 years. Started that when it was a little piece of land in Merritt, which is, I don't know if people know, BC is beautiful. And it's just, maybe 4 hours, I think, outside of BC, in the Okanagan area. And it's, piece of land. People are like, what? You're going to have a music festival on this little piece of land? Like, what? And so really, I was the director of marketing and publicity, and we were just a small, amazing team starting that. And just to watch it grow and grow and grow. And by experience, I've worked with everyone from, Johnny Cash to Reba to the Dixie Chicks before they were famous. I've met so many artists. I knew when I met the Dixie Chicks, I thought they're gonna be huge. You just know it, right? And so many artists, pretty much every major country artist I have worked with during that time. It was incredible, and got to meet them and meet and greets, and most of them were cool. Some weren't. That's another story. It's another book.
We're doing a book. Oh my gosh. Well, I know, because there were some pictures of Keith Urban. I'm like, he looks like a twinny little, like, you're like, he was just like this tiny little, you're like, but there was, obviously some very big names. And I know that you're a big fan. You're a big fan of a very cool tour, that very cool band that's touring right now. I know that they're going to be in Vancouver soon. And that's
Heart. Well, yes. Thank you for bringing Heart up. I mean, Heart are my idols, because coming up, back in the day when, as a female guitar player, there weren't very many. And I saw Anne and Nancy Wilson, and my life changed. I literally, I bought an Ovation guitar and started to learn guitar, and my songwriting. I think the next biggest, if I was to meet them again, and I did meet them actually at one point, I had the opportunity to work with my idols on one of the shows here in Vancouver. And I don't know if anyone's ever had an opportunity to work with an idol, but you kind of revert back to when you were 15. I don't care what age you're at, you revert back to like this little kid. And then it was just, and I've worked with the biggest artists in the world, and I couldn't speak. It was just the craziest thing. And they're amazing, and they were fantastic and wonderful humans. And a huge, huge influence in my life. And I'm blessed to have worked with many great artists, for sure.
I think it's important to, I mean, thank you for that. Um, a lot of people, I think we don't realize our impact. Like, do you know what I mean? Because we're always looking forward. And when you say that, I remember the opportunity that I had to meet Gloria Steinem, and that was a bucket list like yesterday's business. And I was going to meet her. We were going to do a little book sign. I was going to have a chance to say something. And honestly, I dropped to like 22 years old.
Yeah.
I did exactly what you just said. I started to sweat. My palms started to sweat. I am a 55-year-old woman. What is wrong with me? Do you know what I mean? But honestly, they're like, so what do you want to say to her? And I was like, I just want to say thank you. I mean, I couldn't think of anything else. I think it was, sorry, perfect for the time, but I know exactly what you mean. And sometimes we don't even know when we're someone else's idol. Like when you talked about the breath of fresh air that you got, or the confirmation or the personal soul, like, oh, relief when you heard them play, and it gave you permission and you went and bought a guitar. It was the same time as I had that same feeling when I went into my mom's records, and I pulled out Janis Joplin Pearl, and I went to my bedroom and I put it on. And for some reason, all I can say is that I felt like my life was going to be okay. Like I just felt like someone understood me. Now we clearly didn't meet each other, and but I felt like something just said you're going to be okay. I can't tell you how many times I played that record. So I think it's really important, and sometimes we don't even know. Like I was talking to Darby, and I'm like, "Hey, Darby, da 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 da," and she's like, "Are you sure you want me in the book?" And I'm like, "Look at those of us that were, in the clubs, managing clubs, behind the bar, in front of the bar, serving drinks or whatever. When you sung as a chick, we were like, we just didn't have a lot of you. Do you know what I mean? Like I saw bands come into the bar all the time. We were booking them, and it was like there wasn't lead singers that were women back then." And she was like, "Really?" I'm like, "You have no idea how inspiring you were." But sometimes I just don't think we know. I'm sure there's many people that say that about you.
Well, I think we're just because we're in the moments. We're in that moment. I wish I knew, now what I knew then, or maybe not. But it's just, yeah, we're in the moments. And I do love it when I do have an opportunity to mentor somebody or to share my experience, really. And if I can open a little door or just give them a little advice. I don't know if people want advice, but just from my experience, or just sit down in my come over to my house and sit in my studio and watch me record some stuff like that. To me, like the simplest things that I think, yeah, this is cool. Like it's a huge deal. And I think at this point in my life, I'm so much about that, giving back and sharing with other people, and just stories too. The road stories and like I said too, I'm open to learning now from the young kids coming up about the technology, and that it's like it works both ways too. And I think it's that respect too. You have to have that respect for everybody, whether they're young and they're coming up, or what people are sharing, and be open to listening. So I think it's really important in that regard.
Well, I like that. I think that would be either the name of your first book or the sequel, The Road Stories. The Road Stories. I like it. So you keep that hashtag, The Road Stories. But look, I know we're going to be wrapping up soon, and I know you talk a lot about giving back, and I know that. Before we do that, what is it that we can do? I love to ask this question, right? So I know that your industry is in flux. There's things that are going on from new and changing, and there's like it got really hit, and then you see a lot of people are back out touring and doing what they can do. And what is it that we can continue to either learn, or how can we support? I know that Buddha talked about that. I know that Sherry talked about that this morning too. But because it maybe even for someone, if someone's listening and they're wanting to make a business in the rock and roll world, it's different now, like you said. Do you have any words of advice before we?
Well, I think it's really the cool thing now is that we are so connected, so easily connected. And I think it's really good that women support each other, that we collaborate. And I do a lot of collaboration with people in whether I'm writing or just on different groups that I'm part of, because I'm about learning. So I think it's really just supporting each other, asking questions. Don't be shy to ask the question, because people think, oh, I know everything. I think I know. No, ask the questions. People want to give that an answer. People want to make, to share that knowledge. Knowledge is power, as we all know that. So I think moving forward, it's just continue to reach out to people. Collaboration, I think, is really important. Asking those questions and just creating your own space, and I always say following your passion, number one, and grit. You keep going, believe in yourself, because other people will jump on the bandwagon. They'll believe you. Just having the energy and the positive, people will, it's like a magnet, right? People are attracted to people who have a positive energy and want to do that. So, that's, I think, the best advice for the new one, the young ones coming up, and be bold, be brave, all of that. And, there's so much more support now than I ever had from especially women in the industry. And I'm sure everyone will be open to sharing in some ways. I think it's just important to reach out.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And look, I know that you have a gift, a song called Love Can,
Oh.
that you're going to put in the chat. Are you going to put that in the chat? Or are you going to
You know what? I will go find it, and I'll put a link to it. Yeah, I'll throw a little link to it. Love Can, that was a song that I wrote back in Nashville quite a few years ago. And it's a beautiful song, and it's a great message. So I will do that. Yeah, thank you.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. And put your information in there so we can chat more. I know that you're fantastic at PR and bios, and knocked on the door. I asked her to do one for Ocean, and
yes,
look forward to that. And just, you're just such a beautiful creative soul. We're happy to, we're fortunate that you're in Vancouver. The world's happy to have you, and thank you for staying true to what you do.
Thank you so much. And I love what you do here, and the book, and all the different enterprises that you've built for yourself. So thank you so much for sharing that, Deb, and continuing, and your wonderful team, Dorothea, who I've been talking with, and Kathleen, and such a great, empowering team behind you too. So thank you to all, because it takes a village. Right?
It takes a village, and hopefully we'll see you on June 6th. And Rona is also in the book. So thank you, my friend. Let's do some love.
Thank you so much.